was walking through the doors with his chin to his chest, supported by Juliet's mother, Catherine. Jamie looks up expectantly as he clumsily plops down next to me in the front pew. Satisfied that he has decided to sit with me, I take my seat and lay my arm over my son's shoulder. I think I feel Jamie's muscles tighten slightly underneath the weight of my arm. I imagine he must be uncomfortable, everyone looking to see how he's handling his mother's funeral, and he's not used to affection from his father. Claire reaches her hand over me to tenderly pat Jamie's knee. She knows how to do this better than I do. "You okay, honey?" she whispers. Jamie nods, and a fat tear splashes Claire's hand. I watch the way they look at each other and make a mental note of what real sympathy looks like. Some priest or minister or whatever he is begins the service, and my mind wanders back to the time when Juliet and I were dating before we got married. She was vibrant then, jubilant. Before I broke her, she had all the life in the world. I think of the first charity benefit we went to together. She had been planning it for months. I picked her up in a Rolls-Royce and brought her a wrist corsage that matched the rose in my lapel. She laughed her brilliant laugh and wore it proudly for the entire event, gazing at it and me while she was on stage, thanking the benefactors for their donations. I remember the way the light left her eyes when she finally realized I would never change, despite her best efforts. I'm pulled back into the present as the music stalls and Jamie rises from his seat. He takes a deep breath, sending shudders through his broad shoulders. The priest pats his back as Jamie places his notes down on the lectern in front of him and clears his throat to speak. "Thank you for coming. My mother would have been so happy to see all of you here, continuing to show your support for her. Although today's event is not benefiting a war-torn nation, underprivileged children, or endangered animals, we are here to honor a woman whose life and legacy are just as deserving of our admiration and protection." I'm impressed with Jamie's words. I hadn't expected such eloquence from a kid not yet 16. But the discomfort is rising in my throat as I worry what he may have in store for his speech. "I grew up in a single-parent home, but you would never have guessed that because Mom played both the role of father and mother to me for as long as I can remember. After Peter left, she picked up some typical male hobbies and took me to sports games, so I wouldn't feel deprived of a male influence." This is exactly what I was afraid of. Jamie bringing up my absence and adding insult to injury by calling me by my first name. All the sympathy I had been getting from the crowd drains as they remember how I abandoned my wife and child. I tune out the rest of his speech and concentrate on appearing remorseful. As Jamie continues his tribute to his mother, I imagine fond memories creeping into the minds of the mourners around me, and I turn to study the expressions on their faces. I've caught the eye of my ex-mother-in-law, Catherine. Catherine hates me, but despite our troubled history, she offers me a sympathetic nod. I mimic the nod back and robotically clasp Claire's hand. When Jamie breaks down talking about how quickly his mother turned for the worse, I carefully observe the reactions from the crowd. I file these looks away in my brain for reference in the future. I wouldn't have to pay such close attention if only I could still conjure these emotions naturally. But I haven't felt remorse. I haven't felt sympathy, and I haven't shed a genuine tear in as long as I can remember. The other two speeches are delivered by two of Juliet's childhood friends. I listen to the adulation and respect in the stories they tell. I laugh when the crowd laughs, and bow my head when the crowd cries, just like I'm supposed to. When the pallbearers lift Juliet's coffin and Louis Armstrong plays, I pull out of Claire's grasp and escort my son down the aisle, closely following his mother's body. Juliet wasn't the first to die, and she wouldn't be the last. "Jamie," I call when he finally exits the funeral.